another video. This one is, I wanted to play with a couple of different products that I don't pull out very often, and I wanted to use my mixed media and whatnot, but I want to ask you your honest opinion of this video. Do you like the quality of this video? I have a new camera, so I'm having a little bit of a play with the settings on it, and color wise it looks right to me. These are true colors, if that makes sense. So let me know what you think. Now I'm using the Vicki Boutin Foundations mixed media paper cardstock. Therefore, I didn't need to put down gesso or anything to prime my paper. Something that I've been asked a little bit, quite a few times actually, not just a little bit, it's been quite a few times. What is gesso? And I know everyone prattles on about gesso and what is it for and all the rest of it. So I thought I would take this opportunity with this particular video because it's super self-explanatory and you can follow along really easily. This paint palette that I'm using for Aussies and Kiwis, it is a Mont Marte paint palette. It's a double stacked one, so you can take the top layer off and you've kind of got your bright colors in one tray and then your slightly darker, more broody colors on the next tray. So, you know, like the warmer colors, I guess I should say. Now, this particular paint palette I've had for ages, and in all honesty, I'm still there, by the way. I'm fiddling with something and I'm slightly out of camera. Sorry about that. So basically, the paint palette that I'm using, it's a normal bog stock watercolor paint palette. That's all it is. It is not an artist level one. It is just a normal paint palette. I actually find the color payoff with this palette is actually really good. There's probably only one color that I would say is not the best, and that is this one here that I just put on there then. I'd call it more the lemon as opposed to, so the lemon yellow versus the other yellow, which is more like a cadmium yellow. It's a little bit warmer. Do you like my donut? Taylor went out and bought a donut for me for lunch, which was really nice because poor Jennifer at the moment has got influenza B, and she is super duper sick. So we've sort of been all just pitching in today to get things done and, you know, all the fun stuff. There was no school today, and looking at how she is, I'll be surprised if there's school by the end of the week, to be completely honest. Now, you're going to see me here in one little mini. You're going to see me put it in the wrong order. Yes, I am actually making rainbow order, and can you see what I just did? Those of you that don't play along, I run with the Roy G. Biv. That's the acronyms for the direction in which a rainbow is. So it's supposed to go red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. However, I put them around the wrong way, but it's okay because Vicki Boutin Foundations paper gives me a little bit of leeway there, so I was able to clean it up and get it off there just to add a bit more water. It's a watercolor. I love how the watercolors run between the texture paste. You might have seen me right at the very beginning. I added some texture paste to the cardstock. Now, this one is not my all-time favorite. Now I've played with this texture paste a little bit more. It is the Mont Marte one that I've used on here. I have to be honest, I have found a hiccup with it, and I'm not sure that it's going to be one that I fall back on, because what actually happened was I put down the texture paste and then I switched the camera off while I dried it, and I dried it both from underneath and from on top, and it was completely dry, touch, it didn't squish, nothing. But as soon as I added these watercolors on top, you can start to see where the pink and the pinky red colors are. It actually kind of softened it all and started to lift it. So could be user error, so I'm going to reserve judgment at this point, but I'm still going to stand by the TCW Light and Fluffy is still my favorite one at this point. This one, it's good and it is light. It's not plasticky like the other ones that I've tried. But yeah, I'll just wait and see, because I know I am adding a fair bit of liquid to this layout, but that's what I do on my layouts. So if my products can't stand up to that, then I have a very big problem. To be honest, I move on very quickly and find another product that is going to serve the purpose for me. So sorry about that bling then. I just had to plug in my one of my devices. Now, as you can see, I'm creating a big old rainbow splashy kind of look. When I first started this, I thought, now, do I want it to take up lots of space or do I want to take up a little bit of space? Now, I ended up using probably a little bit more of the white than I probably intended to start with. Initially, I was going to just keep it very much to the center, but then it was at this point that I had another idea come to me and I thought, you know what, I bet that would look pretty good. So I did it. I'm really glad I did it and it looks really good. So you'll have to stick around to see what I do at the end. And it really helps everything pop. So it's at this point that I'm starting to notice that under the bright red, right between the darker red and like the plum and the orange, that bright red there, I'm starting to notice that the texture paste is starting to, and the reason I noticed it is because my water started to have like texture paste floating in it. And I went and got, remember just before I said, I'm still here, I ducked out and I quickly got 2 fresh containers of water, because I find when I'm doing something like this, here's a tip for you. Make sure you've got 2 lots of water. One to rinse your brush off, and then a clean one to rinse your brush a second time before you go back into your paint palette. That just helps you keep your colors crisp and stop them getting muddy. The other tip that I'll give you as well is when you're doing your colors, keep them separated at the the yellow green point. Keep them sort of separated unless you want them to all mix together. If that's the look you're going for, go for it. But blue and orange, they're going to go like mud. You're going to end up with brown. If you've got, orange and purple, you're going to get brown. It's not a pleasant look. It doesn't work for me personally. But yeah, I was having a play. I truly, honestly, I just wanted to have this big, bold, bright rainbow in my head, and I just wanted to do it. And I didn't want to go to my go-to, my Distress Oxides or anything like that. I decided, no, I didn't want to go there. I wanted to play with an older supply, art supply, and that's why I decided to use this one. Now, this is where I had the brain explosion and remembered this is what I want to do. I need to make this into a really pretty layout. And of course, when I do a rainbow, I love having a really bold contrasting color. So whether it's black, whether it's navy blue, whether it's a dark plum, it doesn't matter what the color is. If you pop a completely different bold, solid, dark color against it, it makes your rainbow pop even more. So this is my attempt at the fact that I don't have a stamping block big enough for this, so I'm using my Ranger Archival ink for this, and because it's waterproof and it's not water reactive, therefore I know when it goes down it's not going to react and all the rest of it. So I put a couple of stamps down either side, and I really liked how that looked, because this is a photo that I absolutely adore. There's there's a half a dozen photos that I took at one point, and I want to end up scrapping them all, but I don't want to just do them in a sequence, you know, of having like 5 of them all the same. I want to be able to use those photos to my advantage. That's where I get to be creative, because, you know, and watch what I do here. Can you see what I just did? I just sat my water container without even thinking on my photo, and look what I did to it. I'm going to print another photo, don't panic. I have to be honest, I do it all the time. Oops, sorry, I just dropped something. I do it all the time. I will sometimes I'll grab my cup, which never has anything hanging off it, and I grab that quite often, and it works a treat because it's nice and heavy, and it's like having a third hand in the craft room. But guess what? Didn't grab that this time. I grabbed something that had water underneath it, and bombarded bing, I made a big old mess on my photo. It's not too bad, it's not too dramatic, but I will print another one. So these are some stickers. Now remember a while ago, if you've been around for a little bit, you'll know that I made comment about the Amy Tangerine Remarkable stickers, and I said, oh, I wish they did the same thing again in the colours, but they did it slightly smaller. Bombarded bing. Ask and you shall receive. There it is. These, I've never even used them yet, believe it or not. I think I got these ones from, they have a price tag on them, so they must be from Crazy Craft Obsession, because it's the only place that has price tags on things. So I'm pretty sure they were from there. I absolutely love these stickers. Don't know if they've still got them in stock, but I can honestly see myself grabbing another set, just purely and simply because, well, I really like them. Normally, I don't go for a multicolored title like that, okay? I like all my letters to be the one color, the one, you know, all uppercase, all lowercase, all cursive, like whatever the theme of it is. But I don't mind with these particular stickers. I actually don't mind the fact that they're different colors, and I end up with a multicolored title. It's not too bad. So what else can I give you an update on? I have received my my supplies for the free classes that you can scrap along with me, and I do free classes and they are loaded up here on YouTube. You don't have to pay for them. If you're overseas, you can source the materials if you wish, and or just use what you have in your own collection and do a scrap lift. That works for me too. The only thing I ask with a scrap lift is, if you do scrap lift me, and this is not for notoriety, I'd just really like to see what you create, because I love when people are inspired by something. You know, you may not scrap lift it exactly, but you might look at this and go, I actually really like how you did the rainbow really big, you know, or towards the end, what I do around the border, you might really like that. And to be honest, I really like it too. So I actually think I'll be doing that again. I really, really, really liked it. So, yeah, I mean, when it comes to scrap lifting, a lot of people do scrap lifting and they, you know, may I scrap lift you? That was a big thing in May. It was, you know, heaps of scrappers did it. Look, I'll be honest with you guys. I like to walk to the beat of my own drum. My creativity just exudes out of me half the time. And I already have so many ideas that I'm one of these people that I just have it in my head and I can't help it. So I want to get it all out there. So as far as playing along with other people, other hops, all that sort of thing, sometimes I'll jump in and go, oh yeah, actually I've got a layout that I want to do that's similar to that. You know, I'll jump on board. But 9 times out of 10, I'm just loading up videos that hopefully inspire your creativity, and you can go, okay, well maybe I'll do a use my stickers, but if I do them like this, then they're not going to look like stickers as such. They're going to look more like ephemera. You know, if I do a stencil, if I do a stamp on there, you know, maybe that would be, that'd be a goer. That's what I would like. Now, here's what I'm doing around the border. Stick with me. This looks amazing. By the end of this, I was like buzzing. I'm not doing these evenly, so they're not a perfectly even all the way across. This is just me on one of my little, these stamps are from KAISERCRAFT, and they're all on one thing, but they don't have a number and they don't have a title. So I can't even tell you what they are. But I bought them ages ago, and there was a whole big throw-out bin, and they had all these stamps for $2. And I grabbed a heap of them, and they're so good. They're so, so pretty. And doing this around the border, now I was a little bit reluctant because I'm like, oh, you know, the rainbow's pretty bold. But I absolutely love how it turned out. So check that out. I really, really like it. When you see it close up, when you see it up nice and close, you can actually see that it's a really nice, it's kind of like filigree. It's sort of, you know, that sort of vibe. So you can see the stamp, the big stamp that I've put over the orange and the red. I've done the exact same stamp over the purple, but you just can't see it very well because of the darker colours. And I just decided I would pull out my Diamantes, and these are my little tiny ones. These are my really cheap and cheerful ones that I got from, I think I bought them from Amazon, and they were like $12, and they came with about 6 different packets, containers. So you can see the little container on the right hand side there. And I just decided, you know what, I'm going to use these up. I don't care. I'm just going to go to town with it. And I added a heap of bling to it, and I absolutely love how this looks and the texture. It feels so good. This week I am trying to focus on stamping. So I'm just trying to show you different ways that you can bring life to your stamps. I did get a new product to me this week in my, it arrived today, my design team box, and some of my order that I ordered from Crazy Craft Obsession. And there is a really cool product in there. It is called, I'll tell you what it's even called. One, I did buy the stencil butter, the TCW stencil butter. I was telling somebody the other day that I'm going to do a comparison between the Luna paste and the stencil butter. What's the difference? Is it thicker? Is it thinner? Does it work the same way? Does it go through a stencil the same? I want to give you an open, honest bit of feedback on that one. But the product that I'm really excited to give a crack with is embossing powder. It's a range. This is a Ranger brand, and it's called Dimensional. It's called Embossing Powder Cottontail, and it is called Dimensional Puff. So I'm very, very intrigued as to how this is going to look. And I'm going to go to town with that because I really want to do a lot of stencil work this week. I'm just in the mood. Sorry, I said stencil. I meant to say stamp. So stick around for that. Here's the up close and personal look of it. Doesn't that look really pretty along the border? Look at your stamps differently, guys. Look at them and just go, you know what? If I just stamp that all the way along the edges, it's not necessarily a border stamp, but it works. Looks really cool. And all that bling that's added on top of it, it gives lots of shimmer and shine and the big bold bright colors. So if you think this video has given you, if you've got any value out of this video, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, I'd love to have you subscribe. At the moment, I've got about 30% of people watching that are not subscribed. It is free and it really helps out my channel. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will chat to you again real soon. Bye for now.